welcome our Facebook family. Welcome to our bi-weekly live show from the Fahami Temple of Divine Understanding World Headquarters and here in St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome to our show. We have a wonderful presentation for you. Our Astamari or our enlightener for this beautiful Sunday is our High Sheikh and High Professor from the Fahami College here in St. Louis, Missouri. High Sheikh Abdullah Ra. His title of his presentation is called Man's Own Show, Civilization. Again, Man's Own Show, Civilization. So let's welcome our High Professor, our High Sheikh, and let's enjoy the lecture.
Thank you. Thank you, audience. Welcome. Welcome. A lot was said today, and I wanted to jump in and take part in the conversation. I wanted to add some things to it. Some of the things that we are talking about, we are looking for a quick fix. We are looking for a quick fix as a result of the strife that is being fostered upon us. We are looking for a quick fix. Brothers and sisters, it is not a quick fix. Fahami is not a quick fix. Fahami is teaching us. It is preparing us for this onslaught of all of this misinformation that we are receiving. It is trying to tell us, this is your path. This is the path that you should follow. This is the path that you should go to, and not be confused by all of the rhetoric that is being fostered upon us. These things that are being taught today, or being told to us today, are none other than things to cause you to error. They're to cause you to wonder about why is this, why is that, why is this gentleman up there in the office acting the way that he is acting. In reality, we have no position in a democracy nor in a republic, but yet and still we are here and we are expressing what we think is the right way. What is right? What is right is what is yours. That's what's right. If you want a definition of what is right is yours. My lesson is entitled Man's Own Show, Civilization, in honor of our Rasul, peace be upon him. In the name of the Most High God, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Since civilization is man's own show, pay close attention, then his job is to perform the act of civilizing a race. Is this not true? Yeah. Which is the condition of organization, enlightenment, and progress, which means we must use a devotion to the public will. One thing is certain, the black race never transcends its physical environment. Basque and Japanese, being hilltop people, shout their language. Chinese does not. Which he infers that to such factors as a degeneracy and foreign influence which produce linguistic changes, then a physical environment should be added, maybe. One thing is certain, loud talking is a sign of ignorance. Thank you, brother. It will not mold us. It weighs on us 15 pounds to the square inch at sea level. Remove that pressure. When we are taught to be mild in manner and speech, we do not go up like a balloon. We die like a candle in a vacuum. It is also certain that despite divergencies, all language agree fundamentally in structure and means of expression, and the categories in all of them are largely childish and simple, irrational and unsystematic. With loud talking, with the inflective type, our people find themselves more at home. When the classification scheme was set into motion among our noble ancestors, it brought about a fashion to grade them. Chinese is a sing-songy, so it is. It is a musical language. When they speak in a musical type dialect. Bing bong yang bing yang sound like instruments. Whereas the Japanese, when they speak, it's more guttural. Why not? Musical accents can be as effective as phonetics, characteristics, and is not only in degree, varying with a musical scale of 2, but 1 of 7 in Chinese dialects, but also in many other Asiatic, African, and a few American Indian languages. Our ancestors were the first to speak a language. These things we have to keep bringing up to the people. These things we are constantly telling you. We use certain words that spark a certain idea, certain words like all, A-L-L, all, on the front of the Fahami Gospel. It brings forth, it says, this book is the what? The key to what? All. All. That means that every book, every Bible that you come forward with, this book is an explanation for all of them. All, A-L-L. Our ancestors were the first to speak a language. It was called the mother tongue. Even though we are speaking about languages right now, we are putting the emphasis on what is the mother tongue. We were the first ones to introduce a language. Keep that in mind. Everything that we are telling you about now is things that we as a people introduce to other people. We take credit for introducing a language. Since all nations learned to speak our tongue of the gods, it is now spoken of as a linguistic stock or family. They may develop their own linguistic rituals, but their mother tongue must reflect a practical attitude towards a practical world. Read and reread the 3 mothers of mankind. Thank you. Your minister, the adept. In the beginning was love. We asked about that question in our last meeting. The question was asked, what is love? What is love? We use the terminology quite a bit. Love. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. What is that love? What is that love that God gave his only begotten son? In the beginning was love. Children are the cement of society. And since man began to talk, marriage has been the catalyst, force binding male and female molecules into the units of which society consists. In other words, this is what the marriage thing is all about. We just use these fancy words to throw picture of love. What are the biological beginnings of the oldest, noblest, and most civilizing of all human institutions? Question. Where can we go for this answer? Question. To the primitive tribes such as the Vidals of Ceylon, the Australian Aborigines, the Shoshones of Nevada, or the Pygmies of Africa. They are small people, they are illiterate, and they have only the simplest and most primitive culture. But their culture is as old as that of gods and goddesses in the Nile Valley. Their history is as deeply rooted. They have the same biological equipment our noble ancestors had, and since the psychological equivalent to every cultural phenomena known to modern civilization. We say that these people were uncultured, but yet still these people have everything that so-called modern man has also. So where's the uncultured at? Where's the uncultured? If they have the same thing that you have and you are cultured. They have the same biological equipment our noble ancestors had, and hence the psychological equipment to every cultural phenomenon known to modern civilization. The ape. And we say that a lot of times we find people around here aping. All they're doing is just acting like an ape, imitating and, acting like that zoo ape. We'll talk about that. Zoo ape is unnatural ape. That's not the way the ape acts out in the wild. But when he is put in a cage somewhere, and he takes on the characteristics of what his cage and his captivity has done to him. The ape, we may remind, is biologically almost human. Think about that. The ape, we may remind, is biologically almost human. Think about it. The ape can become a prostitute. The female may sell her favors for food, protection, and defense. It can rear its young without the age of a male. It shows sex love, mates with each other's mothers for offsprings. Having no words, apes have no thoughts, mind, consciousness, or conscience. Having no ideas, they have no ideals. Having no slogan, they make no progress. But remember the previous statement, they are biologically almost human. Without souls, they are nothing for immortality. The ape, we may remind ourselves, is biologically almost human. It can learn any kind of sexual perversion known to man. I don't know if you all remember those monkeys that used to be out at the park out there, and what they would do to the people who were standing there looking at them. The monkeys would take their feces and throw it at the people out there looking at them. And the people thought that was a joke. But in reality, the monkey was telling you how they disapproved of you standing there looking at them. So they took their mess and threw their mess at you. And the people were just grinning, oh, they're just so cute. Ape behavior in a zoo is zoo ape behavior, unnatural and artificial. But aren't we in a zoo? And is not our behavior unnatural and artificial? Question. This is what modern civilization does to us as Africans of America. This is what this conversation that we had this morning here in the room here. This is what we were discussing here. Some of the things that are going on. This is modern America, right? And we are part of this modern America. We have to have a means to wade through that. Fahmy has given us the explanation to that. And we have to hold steadfast to what we are being taught. Otherwise, you're going to fall victim to the same things. And you're going to be just like that zoo ape. The zoo ape who is acting out like a zoo ape. But aren't we in a zoo? And is not our behavior unnatural and artificial? Question. This is what modern civilization does to us as Africans of America. It is all because the white man's religion is not, and I repeat, is not in harmony with our environment. We keep emphasizing that over and over again. This white man's religion is not in harmony with our environment. What is our environment? Nor is his education in harmony with our temperament. What is our temperament? We know that we come from a certain portion of the globe, of the earth, and it's called the temperate zone. How does this affect us in any kind of way? How does it affect our mentality in any kind of way? And why is it that a detriment to our good white brothers? Why we just cannot fit? We're like a square round hole. We just can't seem to fit. And they don't know exactly what it is that you people want. They know what they don't want to give you. Human society is rooted in inhuman social life or organization. The unit of ape society is a variable, even as it is with man. This is man's own show, civilization. Since love was in the beginning, then love does not mean that man must lust after another man's wife. Nor does it mean that a woman should lust after another man's husband. But having respect for all. So what is the word that we use for love? And that word is what?
Respect.
Respect. Sister asked what was the word. What does the word love mean? And we can find all kinds of definitions. But one definition that seems to take precedence is respect. Respect. Having respect for all. In the beginning being love. Then what is love since the ape understands it? The ape understands love. He is almost human. The Bible said that God so loved the world, which is the people, that he gave his only begotten Son. Then let us search the word love. As God so loved the world, or people, was a strong, complex emotion, causing one to appreciate, delight in, and crave the presence of the object, and please the welfare of that object attachment. Which means everything that comes in within the cognizance of the senses. Remember, the little people and the ape and the world pygmy means in Greek 13 inches. Man's own show in civilization, in civilizing a race. Salam. Your minister, the adept. We know that the Rasul, peace be upon him, was a linguist. He wrote many poems, he wrote many lessons, and a lot entitled Mothers of Mankind. Mothers of Mankind. Have you brothers ever heard of that paper?
No, sir.
This paper was written in 1944 by Paul and Johnson, Ahmadine. Mothers of Mankind, the three faces of the African woman, the black woman, the brown woman, the mulatto woman, written, as I said again, by Paul Nathaniel Johnson, Ahmadine, Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh, to instill dignity and pride in women throughout the black nation, regardless of complexion, hues, or features, is the mission of this work. The black woman. I am a black woman, a daughter of Ethiopia. Men of all races have admired me throughout the ages. The white, the red, the yellow, the brown, all men swooned under the spell of my magic love. Like did Ulysses, men under the witchery of Cissus, the daughter of the sun. I am black and beautiful, gentle and fair, and the mystery of the world. Bel bows down, and Nebo stoopeth at my feet. I conquer all men. My brothers were princes in Egypt. My sisters were queens of the Nile. My little sisters were fairies on the banks of the Swanee River. Why do the world of men lust after me? Because I am pure. I am an unmixed. I am a black woman. The brown woman. My skin is of a richer hue than brush ever designed. Nature's hand has fashioned me the charm of the earth, for I am brown-skinned. The unknown called and beautified me for the glory of man when the world was young. My mother was queen of the house of Solomon and the inspiration of his songs. My grandfather was kings of Ethiopia, and my fathers were pharaohs in Egypt. I inhaled the soft, perfumed breezes of the hanging gardens of Babylon when the walls of Jerusalem were built. I was there. I drew back the curtain, and peeping through the lattice of the king's chamber, I saw the thing done. I took bathing in the rushing waters of the river Jhelum, and sojourned in the vale of Kashmir. They are my sisters whom you see gathering tea leaves and coffee beans on the Isles of Java. It is my sister whom you hear praying as she kneels before the Andar Pagoda in far-off Burma. It is my sister whom you hear sweetly singing in the weird tunes of her guitar on the Isles of Hawaii. They are my sisters, dark brown and beautiful, whom you hear sweetly singing in palm-thatched huts on the dreamy South Sea Islands. They are my sisters whom you see pointing black designs on land-woven bark cloth on the Isles of Fuji in Samoa. Allah alone has made them fair to look upon, and straight of feature. Their hue is like unto the color of chocolate, and they are brown-skinned and beautiful. The mulatto woman. I am a mulatto woman, representing all bloods in one, a perfect blend of all complexions, into a mass of bronze and studded with diamonds. I represent all races in one. No single race can claim me. I am the daughters of all the races of men. I am wily and cunning, artful and shy, passionate yet thoughtful, and full of motherly love. Behold my African lips, my Nordic nose, and my Arabian hair. I will be your wife in paradise, for I am Allah's chosen. I'm a letter woman. Thank you. It's a lovely story.
Yes, thank you, family. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really did. And we thank our Dr. Sheikh Abdullah Ra. And family, we'll see you in 2 weeks from now with another enlightening lecture. Again, as you know, that we are celebrating our 100th anniversary of the foundation of this movement by our most enlightened prophet and representative of Amun-Ra, Paul Nathaniel Johnson. So we are very excited and we are still in celebration our 100th anniversary since 1919 to 2019 right now. So we will see you in 2 weeks from now, and thank you for joining us. Basalam ya Strat Banya. Bahani.